Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys have had or are having an amazing day, and welcome to GOYA Academy. Get Off Your Ass Academy, or GOYA for short, is a resource for you to learn about topics such as finance, marketing, psychology, success, and much more. More importantly, together we are going to figure out how we can utilize this information in our own lives to grow and better ourselves financially, mentally, and physically. A little bit about me. My name is Jacob Puto. I'm a 21-year-old student at the University of Toledo, and I have dyslexia, so you're going to have to bear with me on some of the reading. Now, I'm not an expert yet, but while in the process of learning this information, I want to be able to share with you what I'm studying on my journey, with the goal of providing the maximum value to your time and mine. Now, without further review, let's jump into our first segment. One of the ways I plan on providing value to you all is by creating these note forums to break down the concepts and help you better understand the content. As well as I'll be making keys and takeaways that you guys can use and start implementing in your own lives. I will also leave links in the description to all my sources below. So what even is financial freedom? Well, to me, financial freedom means having enough income to pay off your expenses while still being able to afford the lifestyle that you desire, while also not having to worry about personal finances. Financial freedom is key to a successful retirement because when unexpected expenses or bills come up, you'll still be able to afford them with passive income streams and compounding interest on your investments. Let's take a look at Dave Ramsey's definition of financial freedom. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dave Ramsey is a popular and successful podcaster who mainly talks about finance. So, right here's his definition. Financial freedom means that you get to make life decisions without being overly stressed about the financial impact because you are prepared. You control your finances instead of being controlled by them. The path of financial freedom isn't a get-rich-quick strategy. And financial freedom doesn't mean that you're free of the responsibility of handling your money well. Quite the opposite. Having complete control over your finances is the fruit of hard work, sacrifice, and time, and all of that effort is worth it. Ready to learn how to build a life of financial independence for you and your family? Start by defining what financial freedom looks like for you. So kind of similar to my definition in that you are prepared for what could come, as well as start by defining what financial freedom looks like for you. Everybody's different, so find what works best for you and run with it. So now let's jump into Investopedia's 12 habits that will help you reach financial freedom. So right out the gate, we have set life goals. What is financial freedom to you? A general desire for it is too vague a goal, so get specific. Write down how much you should have in your bank account, what the lifestyle entails, and at what age this should be achieved. The more specific your goals, the higher the likelihood of achieving them. This is very, very true. And I found that out when I was reading this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I highly suggest you guys pick one up as well. In this book, Napoleon Hill breaks down key factors that successful people all share and that we can start embodying in our own lifestyles to start pushing towards the path of success. Our second habit is to make a budget. Making a monthly household budget and sticking to it is the best way to guarantee that all bills are paid and savings are on track. It's also a regular routine that reinforces your goals and bolsters resolve against the temptation to splurge. And the key to this is sticking to it. That's the hardest thing to do, especially around the holidays and this time of year. Now, something that's helped me with this is using Mint, where I can track all of my spending through my checking, savings, credit, and even look through my investment accounts to see where I am financially. Now, our third habit is pay off credit cards in full. Credit cards and similar high-interest consumer loans are toxic to wealth building. Make it a point to pay off the full balance each month. Student loans, mortgages, and similar loans typically have a much lower interest rate. Paying them off is not an emergency. Paying on time is and will build a good credit rating. And another point to consider is only using 30% of your allowed credit. Now, for example, if your bank gives you a credit limit of $1,000, you should only be taking out $300 per month or lower, so that way you can ensure that you can, one, pay it off, and two, let the bank know that you're not taking more out than you can handle. This is just one way to boost your credit score. So now our fourth habit is create automatic savings. Pay yourself first. Enroll in your employer's retirement plan and make full use of any matching contribution benefit. It's always wise to have an automatic withdrawal for an emergency fund, which can be tapped for unexpected expenses, and an automatic contribution to a brokerage account or something similar. Now, Robert Kiyosaki is the only one I know that has talked about the concept of paying yourself first. Yes, everybody has debts, everybody has stuff that they have to pay for, but who is the one making the money? You. So don't you think it's a little more important to give yourself some of that money first? Moving on to our fifth habit, start investing now. Bad stock markets can make people question this, but historically there has been no better way to grow your money than through investing. The magic of compound interest will help it increase exponentially over time, but you need a lot of time to achieve meaningful growth. Don't try to be a stock picker or trick yourself into thinking that you can be the next Warren Buffett. There can only be one. Instead, open an online brokerage account that makes it easy for you to learn how to invest, create a manageable portfolio, and make a weekly or monthly contribution to it automatically. This is very accurate. See, because you're not going to become Warren Buffett by trading overnight. It's just never going to happen. No matter what kind of money you have, it will not happen. But what you do need to know and remember, if you are going to invest, is it's about time in the market, not about timing the market. Moving on to number 6. Watch your credit. Your credit score determines what interest rate you are offered when buying a new car or refinancing a home. It also impacts seemingly unrelated things such as car insurance and life insurance premiums. The reasoning is that someone with reckless financial habits is also likely to be reckless in other aspects of their life, such as drinking and driving. This is why it's important to get a credit report at regular intervals to make sure that there are no erroneous black marks ruining your good name. Kind of like we said in the other point about credit, make sure you follow the 30% rule. Number 7, negotiate. Many Americans are hesitant to negotiate for goods and services, worrying that it makes them seem cheap. Overcome this cultural handicap and you could save thousands each year. Small businesses in particular tend to be open to negotiation, where buying in bulk or repeat business can open the door to good discounts. And this is huge because I think that you can use negotiation and tactics for yourself too, not only for selling goods and services, but for selling yourself. So for example, when you're at your job and you need a raise, you're going to go to your boss and you're going to sell yourself and tell him why you deserve this raise, why you need this raise, and things like that. Moving on to number 8, continuous education. Review all applicable changes in the tax laws each year to ensure that all adjustments and deductions are maximized. Keep up with financial news and developments in the stock market, and do not hesitate to adjust your investment portfolio accordingly. Knowledge is also the best defense against those who prey on unsophisticated investors to turn a quick buck. Continuous education doesn't just mean going to college, going to a trade, or anything like that. It means doing research on topics that are going to help you understand your finances and your money better, so that way when it comes time to wanting to invest, if you don't want to do it yourself and you want somebody else to do it for you, when they tell you and explain to you what they want to do and what they're going to do and how it's going to work, you'll have an understanding of that on your research instead of what they just tell you. Number 9, proper maintenance. Taking good care of property makes everything from cars and lawnmowers to shoes and clothes last longer. As the cost of maintenance is a fraction of the cost of replacement, it's an investment not to be missed. Think about this like resourcefulness and sustainability. It's something our generation is striving to do. Now, with resourcefulness, it's about using the things that we have already to our advantage. So instead of going out and buying a new one, why not use what we have already to our advantage at our homes and fix something? Or being sustainable. So instead of throwing something out that's old and used, why not break it down for parts that you can go and recycle and scrap? Number 10, live below your means. Mastering a frugal lifestyle by having a mindset of living life to the fullest with less is not so hard. Indeed, many wealthy individuals develop a habit of living below their means before rising to affluence. This isn't a challenge to adopt a minimalist lifestyle or a call to action to heed to the dumpster with things you've hoarded over the years. Making small adjustments by distinguishing between the things you need and the things you want is a financially helpful habit to put to practice. We all know what we need, okay? So now when it comes to the things that we want, when I'm buying things, I think of them as investments. If I cannot buy something and think of it as an investment, I won't get it. Number 11, get a financial advisor. Once you've gotten to a point where you have amassed a decent amount of wealth, be it liquid investments or tangible assets that aren't as readily available to convert to cash, get a financial advisor to educate you and help you make decisions. Now, this can also coincide with a tax accountant because once you get up to that certain wealth range, you're going to be in a whole new tax bracket, which means that you're going to not only be paying more in taxes, but you can also be getting more deductibles on your taxes, meaning more money back in your pocket. And finally, number 12, take care of your health. The principle of proper maintenance also applies to the body. Invest in good health with regular visits to the doctor and dentist and follow health advice about any problems you encounter. Many problems can be helped or even prevented with lifestyle changes such as more exercise and a healthier diet. Some companies have limited sick days, making it a notable loss of income once those days are used up. Obesity and ailments make insurance premiums skyrocket, and poor health may force early retirement with lower monthly income, which nobody wants. The bottom line, these 12 steps won't solve all your money problems, but they will help you develop healthy habits that can get you on the path to financial freedom, whatever that means for you. Now, that was Investopedia's list of 12 habits that can help you reach financial freedom. Now we're going to move on to the 8 levels of financial freedom. Now, don't worry if you're not on one of these 8 levels of financial freedom yet. Just like all good things, it takes time and effort. I just want to briefly go over some of these to give you guys an idea of what you could expect. Not living paycheck to paycheck, enough money to quit your job, maybe even for just a little bit, enough to be financially happy and still safe, freedom of time, enough for a basic retirement, enough to actually retire well, enough for dream retirement, more money than you could ever spend. Now, these are just levels that you could achieve in your financial freedom, but it's a long journey, and the more you know, the quicker you could potentially get there. Okay, now let's get into the keys and takeaways of today. Okay, so first up, we have set life goals, both big and small, financial and lifestyle, and create a blueprint for achieving those goals. Figure out what level you want to reach. Now, for this, I would suggest 2 things. 1, write down your goals on a piece of paper that you want to achieve throughout your entire life. Secondly, have another piece of paper and or a note card that you can write down at the end of the day what you want to achieve the following day. So that way you'll have a checklist that you can go through, read to yourself every morning, and accomplish those goals step by step. And yes, you should be physically writing this down on pen and paper. Now, research has shown that writing down things by hand forces your brain to process information in a more detailed way, which helps you successfully load that information into your memory, reinforcing what you're trying to accomplish. Next, we got make a budget to cover all your financial needs and stick to it. And the key really is to just stick to it. Things that you really want to look out for is overspending in areas that you can cut back on, such as food, entertainment, and clothing. You don't always need a new thing, and you don't always need to go out. You can stay back and save more money. As well as, instead of going out to eat, you can also make your own food at home and save money there. It's important to track your spending and see what you can cut back on. Okay, so the third one is pay off credit cards in full so you can carry as little debt as possible and keep an eye on your credit. So the big key here is just to remember the 30% rule if you have a credit card. Okay, so our next one here is create an automatic savings via your employer's retirement plan and by setting up an emergency fund. Ask your employer about 401k and contribution matching, because a lot of employers will actually do this for you. As well as emergency fund, you should save at least around $1,000 starting out, but depending on how many properties you own or how many assets you have, you will have to increase your emergency fund over time. I would also suggest investing in a Roth IRA, which is a tax-free brokerage account that you can contribute up to $6,000 a year. Okay, so then we got take care of your belongings, as maintenance is cheaper than replacement, but more importantly, take care of yourself and stay healthy. Keys here, sustainability and resourcefulness. Don't go out and buy new things that you don't need when you can just simply replace them or fix them, or even go on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace to find things that are half the price. Now, in terms of staying healthy, it's all about eating the right things and continuous exercise. As you continue to do it, you'll figure out a routine that works best for you. But for me, what has worked best is working out 3 days a week for a minimum of 30 minutes or more. And doing this along with portion control, I've lost over 60 pounds in a little over 2 years. And finally, take action now. The quicker you can get moving on these things, the quicker you can be on your path to financial freedom. And that's all I have for you guys today. Hope this was helpful in trying to understand a little bit more about what financial freedom means and what it could mean for you. As well as leave a like on the video, comment down below what you thought of it, and subscribe. Thanks.